Hiya. Before we start, I did make a part 1 where I explained what I'd be rating these motives on, but if you didn't watch that, let me speedrun the categories real quick. Effectiveness in killing, despair-inducing, enjoyment of the chapter, and finally how well it would work in real life. Now let's get into it. All the students, excited for their first time attending Hope's Peak Academy, all gather in a classroom, until... Rating Usami's motives 2. Out of nowhere, a small white rabbit introduces herself as Usami, the lead teacher of their new school trip. But before everyone can decide whether they're crazy or not, Usami waves her wand, and they're all suddenly summoned to a tropical island. She then announces that their homework is to get along and strengthen their bonds. For effectiveness, enjoyment, and despair-inducing, I'd have to give them all a 10 out of 10. Getting forced to socialise and interact with people on a bright tropical island? Sounds terrifying. I mean, the headmaster turned the chicken into a goddamn cow. And for how well it will work in real life, I'd have to give it a... That was odd. I'd have to give it a... Wait, what's happening? That was a weird dream. Nothing wrong could ever happen on this wonderful island. Fuck. Rating Monokuma's motives 2. After removing Monomi's power and lighting her up, Monokuma turns this heart-throbbing school trip into the killing school trip. He then lets them marinate in despair for a day until he calls them all to the park at night. Where in a comedy show setting, he tells them their first motive. Hello ladies and gentlemen, now take a good look at our motive for today, school memories. Monokuma tells everyone Monomi's stolen all their memories from Hope's Peak and anything after it, and to get them back, they're gonna have to kill someone. Can I say kill? Anyway, before he leaves, he also says there's a traitor among them. For despair-inducing, I'd give this a 10 out of 10. All the characters were in disbelief. Also, not knowing who you are, where you are, or who you're with really gives you a lot to think about. And by that I mean specifically despair. For effectiveness, I'd give this an 8 out of 10. Let's say you are happy losing your high school memories. You don't know if anyone else is, or what we're leaving at home, and with a so-called traitor roaming around, that really might push you over the edge. For enjoyment, I give it a 9 out of 10. Even though Nagito think of a rat's ass about the motive, the way he used his powers to manipulate everyone was cool. And the fact Terutoru tried to kill a killer because he really cared about his mother back home, even though he killed the wrong guy, gave the trial a more sympathetic twist while making the murder kinda heroic in a weird sense. And for the real life rating, I'd give it a 7 out of 10. When I asked around, all I got back was a high rating. I think the main thing that boosts it is that even if you had a horrible high school life, you wouldn't remember that. And the fact the general consensus of high school is that it's the best time of your life means you probably want to get that back, even if I do think it should be a bit lower. And now for the most hated motive in other games. Twilight Syndrome murder case. But first, a quick detour. You see, in Danganronpa 1, the mastermind was trying to make the whole world feel despair. But here in 2, she's just trying to kill everyone. The only thing limiting her is the fact she has to follow Monomi's rules. So you could say it's not fair ranking her on the same system. But it's proven that the mastermind loves despair, so it makes sense that she'd still try and get as much despair as possible out of everything she does. So that's why I'm still ranking them the same way. And no, f*** you, it wasn't a waste of time. Because, quick, escape transition! Monokuma's excited to show the group the new game he's created and dubbed the Twilight Syndrome Murder Case. The group all agree they're never gonna touch the game. The first time we play the game, we failed to unlock the true ending. Thanks, Hajime. So this doesn't leave us with much other than, and here's the list. The characters in game speak like some of the people we know. The characters refuse to report a murdered body. And one of them takes multiple pictures of a dead body. Like, I know you're the ultimate photographer, but like, what the hell? For some reason, someone roleplays as an elephant. And later, Girl A is found murdered. Already, I'd say this is the most complicated motive in the series. But wait, there's more! After some tomfoolery, we find out my hero's been murdered. So we go back to play the video game again, and unlock the hidden truth murd. The truth murd answers all our questions. The first question being that the first body discovered was actually for Yuriko's sister, and that she was killed by Girl E, the only character we don't have a face for. Mihiro figures this out, and confronts Girl E with pictures proving she was right. They both talk about it and decide to keep it a secret because Fuyuhiko's sister was a B word. That's right, I mean bully. Girl E even gets rid of the photos, albeit quite poorly, since Fuyuhiko finds them, gets enraged, and gets Girl E killed. That was a long motive. What? Oh. There's actually one more part to this motive. Whoever completes it first gets a photo proving its legitimacy. Now for despair-inducing, I'd give it a 2 out of 10. Yes, I know Fuyuhiko finds out his sister's died, and Mihira finds out she covered it up. And that does cause a lot of despair. But that's like 2 out of 13 humans. Sorry, Jackie. That's rookie numbers. For effectiveness, I give it a 5 out of 10. Telling a gangster someone's covered up the death of their sister would probably make them kill, sure. But, and hear me out here, what if you just didn't beat the 2 ending? Or better yet, what if you just didn't touch the game at all? Actually, I'll add 2 points more to despair because the thought of what if I just didn't play the game isn't lost on me. And for how well it would work in real life, I'd have to give it a 3. No, a 2. It's kinda like an easy ARG, but at the end you discover someone's sister was killed. And for all you know, it's a lie! And finally, for enjoyment, I'd give it a 2 out of 10. I like the idea of a game in a game, but I feel like the trial is made worse because of this. When I was searching to find out if anyone liked the motive, they didn't like the fact that it took half the trial away from their favourite character. Which leads me to another fan favourite motive. Motive 3, Despair Disease. Monokuma releases tiny insects on the island that can all transmit a dangerous disease. When a victim gets infected, a trait seems to take over them. 4 of the characters contract this disease, and they all get affected differently. Nagato ends up getting the liar's disease. Akane gets the coward disease, with 1 voice line apparently. Get out of my head, get out of my head, get out of my head, get out of my head. Boss, we lost another one. God damn it again. What video was he making? A Danganronpa 2 video, I believe. Well, that's simple enough. You do it. Fine. And clean up that body. Sorry about that. Where were we? Oh, right, yeah. Ibuki gets the gullible disease. And last but not least, Mikan, who gets the remembering disease, which turns her into a murderous psychopath. Alright, let's start off with effectiveness. I'd have to give it a 10 out of 10, because turning someone into a murderous psychopath would probably make them kill someone. And for despair-inducing, I'd give it a 3 out of 10. You can't really feel true despair when you're not yourself. This motive feels like Monokuma taking over a student's body and killing with it. And for how it affects the chapter, I'd give it a 4 out of 10. Literally all the diseased people are annoying. Apart from Nagita, he's pretty funny. The whole reveal that Mikan just ended up being a true self was kind of interesting, if not hard to figure out before chapter 6. And to be honest, most of this chapter seems half-baked. But this video is just about motives. Anyway, for how well it would work in real life, I'd give it a 10 out of 10. That disease would destroy our world. Fasten your seatbelts, make sure you don't stand up, and get ready for Motive 4, Starvation. For this motive, Monokuma forces the students to live in one of 2 boxes where they will stay and starve for all eternity. Until someone kills, that is. There's only 2 things to do in these boxes: play the final dead room for the ultimate weapon, or go to the elevator for some mandatory Monokuma Tai Chi, which is exercise, if you know what that is. For effectiveness, it has to be a 10 out of 10. This motive is literally kill or die. And for enjoyment of the chapter, I give it a 4 out of 10. For chapter 4! The motive is uninspired and it just feels like we're waiting for someone to die. It doesn't really feel very danganronpa-y, which is thematic for the motive, but boring. Although playing as Nagita to get that file was a good idea and leads beautiful into chapter 5. Now this might be a bit controversial, but for despair-inducing, I'd give it a -2 out of 10. This motive causes Gundam Tanaka. My favourite character, why do you have to die? You could have got rid of the kind of show to talk about food anyway. This motive does cause him to kill, yeah, sure. But he does it in an honourable duel to protect everyone else. This makes everyone thankful for his and Nekomaru's sacrifice, making them want to work together even more. No one commits murder after this. I mean, if you want to argue it, Sheki committed manslaughter. For real life, I'd give it a 10 out of 10. I'm sure there's some people who would wait as long as they could, but there is no getting out of this. If you don't kill, you'll starve. Huh? Why is there still X amount of time left in this video? I can't hear you asking. Well, my friend, chapter 5 is my favourite chapter out of all the games, so I'm going to try and rate it in this motive style, even if it's not really a motive. Plus there's also a part where I thank you guys for us hitting over 150 subscribers. But first, motive 5, Traitor in Plain Sight. For this motive, Monokuma gives Nagito the information he needs to figure out who the traitor is, but it turns out the traitor is actually on the side of hope. For effectiveness, I'd give this a 1 out of 6. Nagato using his dead body to make an impossible roulette to get all the ultimate despairs killed would have been impossible. You'd have to be really lucky for that to happen. Yeah, despair inducing will have to be a 15 out of 10. How Nagato's corpse looked was horrifying. Jesus, that is gruesome. And the fact Chiaki gets executed trying to save his life. Most despair-inducing moment in a Danganronpa game for real. Enjoyment would have to be a 10 out of 10. The start of a chapter was slow, yeah, but that's not the motive's fault. The motive makes this murder take full control of the rules, which is only done one time, I believe. And for how well this would work in real life. No. Stop that scary music. Before we get to the tier list, I'd like to introduce our new sponsor. No, I'm kidding, we don't have sponsors here. I'd actually like to thank you all for making this channel able to reach 150 subscribers. It means a lot. Reading and replying to your guys' comments is awesome. Give it a couple more seconds. Except you, Jack Habiter 1132 with a lowercase j. How dare you correct my incorrect spelling? Much love. Tier list time. Alright, let's start off things with Usami's motive. It got a 40 all around, so that means it has to be put into reverse motive. The first room motive got a total of 27, with real life boosting it to a 34. So I'm going to put that in the excellent motive tier. It's the only high ranking motive that's actually from the game, so that's cool. The second motive got a total of 11, with real life boosting up to a 13, so I'm going to put it in bad motive. I've seen some people like the fact that it only affects some people, but I'm different, I guess. Now with the third motive, I don't see anyone liking that one. That one got a total of 17, with real life boosting up to 27, but it will also be going into bad tier. But it's not actually the worst motive. That would go to the fourth motive, with a total of 12 points, with real life boosting up to 22, Starvation. Of course not forgetting Nagato's motive, with a total of 26 points in both regards, so I'm going to put that in good motive. Well, that does it for this video. Remember, if you enjoyed... Oh hey, I didn't see you there. I was just cleaning up. Thinking about getting a tea. If you want me to make a video on a certain game, let me know in the comments. I do think the next video will be me side though. Good night.